Hello guys, Dusty here. Yeah, it's been a while, but I am here with another pickup video from all my pickups for the last year. And by the way, if you guys are wondering about the set, I'll get into more kind of on the updatey half of this video, which will be after pickups. But we have found video games over the last year. Not many. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, there's a big pile here. There's at least a pickup video's worth. But that's the thing. There's at least a pickup video's worth over the course of a year and 3 months. So that's not a lot. Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know if it's just the world has changed to e-commerce since, the 2020 ongoing health events or whatnot, but I just haven't been finding much in the Goodwill. I haven't been finding much in the pawn shop. It's just kind of been, I'll find video games when I can find video games, but unfortunately I can't really make pickup videos without, finding video games. So yeah, we got all genuine pickups here from the last year. And I probably won't remember half of these. So we're both going to be surprised on it because I haven't really looked at these for the last year. I just pretty much throw them in the pile, and then when the pickup video happens, it happens. And yeah, a lot of these are from a year and 3 months ago, and I don't even remember picking them up, honestly. I probably won't even remember where they came from. So it's going to be like Christmas morning for me, I guess, here in a way. I mean, I guess. Yeah, it's just kind of been the way it is. But anyway, let's get right into the pickups. We got a pile of Xbox 360 games here. That's good. That's always good to see. I'm guessing Goodwill? It looks Goodwill. There's no pawn shop stickers or anything like that. And I didn't pick up much from the pawn shop in the last year either. So this has got to be like a Goodwill. So I'm assuming $3 a piece. We got a it looks like fairly clean copy of Halo 4 with both discs, and I don't think this one ended up coming with the manual since it has kind of the imprinted activate your Xbox Live Gold trial or whatever. Yeah, it kind of has the imprinted stuff and like a little thing here. I wonder if that still works. We can always try it. But yeah, Halo 4, which I'm not sure if I had a good copy of Halo 4. And also, please excuse the lighting camera situation once again. It's just kind of an impromptu situation we've got here. So, and we got X-Men Destiny, which I hadn't really ever heard of. But it's a game on the Xbox 360, and it's complete, in good condition, so sure. But for Halo 4, I wasn't sure if I had a good copy of Halo 4, so I'm gonna have to find that out because I don't have the Xbox 360 games catalog yet. So, but we got Kinect Star Wars, which this is a whole thing. It's Kinect Star Wars for sure. And I don't think I had it before. So, yeah, that's interesting to have. Will I ever play it? Might be on a Twitch stream. Who knows? Maybe I'm going to get to be Han Solo and on the old Twitch machine. But we'll see what happens. Twitch.tv/DustyD0. Links in the description. If you do the whole Twitch thing. If you don't do the whole Twitch thing, trying to simulcast to YouTube, it's difficult to do that. So yeah, I don't know. we'll see how things go. But anyway, Injustice: Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition, which once again did not have that on Xbox 360. I think I have it on PS Vita cartridge only. So yeah, but yeah, no, I do have that. Batman Arkham City, which I don't think I had Batman Arkham City either. So there you go. Yeah, lots of staple games that I didn't have. And speaking of staple games that I didn't have, Tomb Raider, the original, I believe 2016. It's very well known for being very good. And this is a Walmart exclusive version, so that's good, I guess. It comes with stuff that has probably been redeemed by its original owner, so it's no use to me, but it's nice to know it's there. And then Assassin's Creed Revelations, which I also did not have this. So, in this one is complete as well. These all seem pretty good, like very well kept and taken care of. So, can't complain about that. And by the way, if you see me looking down, my monitor is all the way down here, so and the camera's all the way up there. So I'm trying to look at the camera, but sometimes you know how it is. Anyway, Goodwill, more Goodwill. We got a new Super Mario Bros. Wii, because you always got to pick these up when you see them. It was $2 at the Goodwill, so not like I don't have enough copies of this game that I still need to sell so that I can afford more video games, but yeah, you see it, $2, you might as well. Right. Anyway, then we got some PlayStation games from the Goodwill as well, I'm pretty sure. And these will have all been $1. Or will these been... I think I might have picked these up in Mason City, and I think they charged me $2 at Mason City. So, but yeah, I guess $2 or something like that. We got MLB Pennant Race, so that's good. NFL Quarterback Club 97. Which once again, kind of hard to pay $2 for that. I thought they were going to be $1, but what can you do? Then we got NBA Basketball 2000. Once again, these are kind of all sports titles, so just a heads up there. But we got an arcadey one, NBA Hoops 2000, I believe, or no, just NBA Hoops, just NBA Hoops. NASCAR 2000 and Knockout Kings. So there you go. That's PlayStation games, I guess. I'll take it. Then we got a GameCube game, which was not $5, but it probably came from the Goodwill at one point, probably $2. But NBA Live 2004, which at this point I'll usually just grab a GameCube game for $2 just for the case alone. I already have this one CIB, but once again, GameCube cases are more and more hard to come by, so we're trying to get our hands on some extras because I do have some games that could use a little case upgrade. So, but then we got looks like a stack of PS2 games. Yep, stack of PS2 games, probably from the same Goodwill trip. We got Supercar Street Challenge, which I'd never heard of this game before, so we'll probably have to play it at some point. It's an Activision title. Design it, build it, race it. That sounds like a very creative way to save on car licensing. Well, they do have licensed cars, actually. They have Saleen, GM, Lotus. Yeah, there you go. And that's all the ones that they have marked down here. So, yeah, this might be an interesting one to play. Once again, on the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/SCV0. Links in the description. Let's see how many times I can plug my Twitch in one video. I'm starting to sound like a YouTuber, I swear. Anyway, we got Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, which I'm pretty sure I had this, but this one's in really good condition. It has all the inserts and stuff. So, yeah, why not? $2. And if I didn't have it, then now I do have it. So that's kind of how that works. I don't know. I did get I suppose I probably had this done in the last pickup video, but I did get my GameCube, PS2, and Xbox, and some other consoles cataloged. I think NES as well. Super Nintendo, maybe. Nintendo 64, possibly. I don't know. I'll have to double check them all. But, yeah. That's good. That's a good thing. That's something that I've been needing to do for a while. But I've been needing to do every other console that isn't those as well. So, anyway, we got Test Drive Off-Road Wide Open, which this is a title in the Test Drive series I had never heard of. But it is complete in good condition, so... And it's Test Drive, so, gotta give it a try. And down here we've got more PS1 games, and I'm pretty sure these ones came from the local Goodwill. I'm pretty sure these ones came from the local Goodwill, so they would have been $1. So we got Burst Trick Wakeboarding, which is kind of cool because this was like one of my first PlayStation 1 games. That I'd ever gotten, but I did not have it in the case. I think I had the back of the case, maybe, but just the back of the case and the disc. So good to have this one fully complete in really good condition there. Can't complain. Whenever I find PlayStation, it used to be back in my day. We used to be very excited. No, the opposite. We used to not be very excited when we found PS1 games. I just go to the Goodwill, I'm like, oh yay, more PS1 games. Because mostly they just be, kind of common titles like these ones. But nowadays, when you walk into the Goodwill and you see just a video game, if you see Madden 2005 for the PS2, it's like, hey, at least there's signs of a video game here. It's just, that's how bad it's gotten. Like, just to tell you, like, I think it kind of gotten this bad in other places far earlier than it had gotten this bad here, but now the Bodunk middle of nowhere Iowa is kind of caught up. So yeah, it's been difficult to find games, to be completely honest. That's why there isn't a lot of games here. Just is what it is. Then I've been working a lot lately. So, well, not lately actually. I've been working not a lot lately because it's kind of the slow season, but over the course of the year, you know, the last year I was working quite a bit. So didn't find much video games then. Didn't have time to go to the Goodwill much then. Now I just go to the Goodwill like maybe 1 or 2 times a week because it's hard to sync the time when there's not even a sign of a filler, you know, sports game there. It's just like there's no video games coming in. There's no point in like hitting the Goodwill that hard. But anyway, we have Ford Racing, which I think I have a couple other games in the Ford Racing series. So, but the PS2 ones. So good to have the PS1 one, I guess. Motocross Mania 2, which I might have already had already. I'm not sure. Need for Speed High Stakes, which I'm pretty sure I had already, but good to have it nonetheless. GTA 2, which I don't think I actually had GTA and GTA 2 on the PlayStation. And I don't think I still have GTA original on the PlayStation. Now that I think about it, I think I pretty much just have the PC ports. So yeah, good to have it on the PS2, I guess. I'll probably have to find GTA 1 someday. Gauntlet Legends, which is kind of cool. And Sports Superbike 2. Yeah, nice little stack of games there for $1 a piece. Can't complain. I think I did pretty good. I don't know. I don't know. It's been a year. Anyway, this was actually a pawn shop pickup. We got Cyberpunk 2077 because for like a couple minutes they had their PS4 games priced $4. So I was like, what the heck? And this is like a year ago, so that was a pretty decent price for it, I'd say. And I can't remember if the PS4 has the free upgrade. I'm pretty sure it doesn't to the PS5 version. So, but I had heard that on PS4 this game runs chewy, to say the least. It's really, really bad from what I've heard. But that's just what I've heard. I don't know. But then we got a copy of Red Dead Redemption, $3 Goodwill. Complete, good shape. I would think I had Red Dead Redemption on the Xbox 360 before, but maybe I didn't. I don't know. I don't know. I've never played it, so I know it's supposed to be very, very good. So I'll have to probably play it eventually. We got Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe on the Xbox 360. Complete in good shape there. And I think these two. I think I remember picking up these two in the same visit. I've gotten a this actually kind of looks kind of interesting. Batman the Brave and the Bold, the video game. And like the art is pretty nice on it. Like I think it's based off of the cartoon of the same name. And yeah, it is a Warner Brothers game. But it is, I think one of the developers is Way Forward. So, and Way Forward typically does good stuff. So, and it is complete and in good shape. So we'll have to probably eventually play this one. I think you know by now where this is headed. Twitch.tv/DustyD0. And by the way, I'm not like migrating from doing this to Twitch. I haven't done Twitch in like a year. But that being said, I do plan on doing more YouTube content. But we got Saint on the Wii for $3, but it is sealed. It is factory sealed. Yes, factory sealed Wii game. It supports 2 bare Wii controllers, so it's got to be good. I have no idea what the game's about, other than that it allegedly has epic boss fights, extra 3D scrolling levels, bonus characters, 12 different upgrades, weapons and power-ups, Le Patron Empire Lutte. I think that's French. You are the legend. You are the saint. Cool. I still don't know what the game's about after reading the back. But it looks interesting, and I think I looked it up just in case to see, because usually when I buy a sealed game, if it's like a game that commands any form of value, I will usually sell the sealed one and then just buy an open copy. But I think that one was pretty steadily going for less than $5 on eBay. So, yeah, what can you do? Then we got an interesting one, which is unfortunate if you know this game, but it is Splatterhouse on the PS3 with a copy of Adventure Time Explore the Dungeon Because I Don't Know in it. Now, this was like, I think $2 or $3. Had the wrong game in it. And, but it does have the manual in the case. So really all I have to do is just get the disc to get a complete copy of Splatterhouse on the PS3, which is, I think, last I had checked, it was going around the $70, $80 kind of figure, which is weird because I think on the 360, it's not all that expensive. But I have heard this title is decent. And that's pretty much the extent of it. But you can unlock, I think, at least the original Splatterhouse as well as some of the Sega Genesis ones, maybe? I don't know. Maybe the NES, like, chibi one. I can't remember exactly. But, yeah, if I was to play Splatterhouse on the TurboGrafx, I'd just play it on my TurboGrafx. So, not really in a rush to get this one, but that being said, it's nice to have a case, so all I have to do is find a disc. And then I also have a disc of Adventure Time Explore the Dungeon Because I Don't Know, so I'll have to find a case and manual for that one. So basically, buying that game at the Goodwill gave me homework, but what can you do? All right, so we got a I think this was this has got to be from the Goodwill, so I'm assuming probably $2-3. Redout race faster than ever, which looked interesting, and it was probably cheap enough, so I went ahead and bought it. It would give me an excuse to wipe the cobwebs off my Xbox One, so hey, we'll take that when we can get it, right? We got a random copy from the pawn shop, I guess. February 8th of 2020. True Crime Streets of LA, I guess. Once again, I'm pretty sure I already had this on the PS2 complete too, so I honestly don't know why I bought it other than it was $2. So, what can you do, right? $2 for a clean copy of a game. This day and age, that's not too bad. We got Arc Fatalis, which I don't really know anything about, other than it is a small box PC game from assumedly the mid-2000s, which I like to collect these as well. So, granted, I don't see them much nowadays. I do like to, if I come across them at the Goodwill for cheap, which this one was probably $2. I do like to buy them when I get the chance. So there you go. I think I might have actually got it with this stack of 360 games as well. It just didn't have like a sticker. Well, this stack of 360 games, these two 360 games, specifically, no, this one 360 game. Excuse me, I'm losing my mind. Can you tell it's been a while since I've done a pickup video? Sorry, my brain's just kind of all over the place. But, you got a copy of Street Fighter 4 for the 360, and I'm not sure if I had Street Fighter 4 as well. Oh, and I guess I have some $3 DS games in there, too. Surprise! Probably got them at the same time or around the same time then. But, we got a copy of Super Mario 64 DS, which I'm not sure if this is the original revision with BLJs or not. I think you have to check the back number for that. It's got a sticker on it. So we'll figure that out eventually. But Mario Kart DS. I'm missing the original revision with BLJs. I have a bunch of the new revision, but none of the old revision. Anyway. Moving on. You got a small stack of Xbox games. Specifically a water-damaged copy of Doom 3, which I primarily bought because it's a title that supports X-Link. Really, I don't know why I paid $3 for a water-damaged copy of Doom 3. Sometimes you buy video games and then you forget why you did it. And this is one of those times. So there you go. I'm pretty sure I already even have a vanilla copy of Doom 3. I think I have the collector's edition as well as the vanilla copy, or whatever. Anyway, I got PsyOps, the Mitigate Conspiracy, which I know nothing about, other than it is a Midway published title. It looks interesting enough. So I might have to try it at some point. It was probably once a rental, given that kind of sticker that would have been in the middle of a rental. Gonna have to probably slide these back. So I have, well, I'm not gonna slide those back yet. I gotta put this. There's still like half a stack of space on there yet. Granted, I don't think I'm gonna be able to fill that. Well, actually, I got another box there I forgot about, so yeah, I might. We'll see. But I got Kingdom Hearts 3, which did not have Kingdom Hearts. I've actually never played a Kingdom Hearts game, so but I do have all of them on the PS2. So yeah, I will be able to play them eventually someday when I decide to do that. This is a individual pickup. It was the only game there. At the Goodwill for $3. Billy the Wizard. Rocket Broomstick Racing, which it looks like a conspiracy game shovelware title. But that being said, $3 for a Wii game at the Goodwill, complete in good condition. Nowadays, I'll take what I can get. So sure. And then we got it looks like Wing Commander Prophecy, the ultimate sci-fi combat simulator. This is just in the jewel case. I believe it has all the discs. Yes, it does have all the discs. One of them falling out. But it was probably $1 at the Goodwill, so figured go ahead and pick that up, add it to the PC game collection. And this one, so there was a few games that I did this with. So Target had a promo going on where you could get 20% off of any game excluding pre-orders. And I believe Nintendo games, which would have been fine, I'm sure. But the problem is they forgot to exclude Nintendo games in pre-orders at the beginning of the promo. So I managed to get all of the games pre-ordered that I wanted to have pre-ordered using that promo. So I did get 20% off of all of a couple of the games you'll see here. But of course, they came out at different times. They were all pre-orders, and some of them were Nintendo pre-orders. So you'll kind of see those when they come up. But and I will let you know which one those ones those are. But one of them was Pac-Man World Repack, which I've never actually played the original Pac-Man World. I have played a ton of Pac-Man World 2. That was a childhood staple of mine. Actually, I did on a friend's PS1 when I was a kid play the original Pac-Man World for a couple minutes. So that's pretty much my experience with it. I've heard that this is overall pretty good, so I'm gonna have to probably give it a play sometime. But I got it on the PS5 because my PS5 has also been kind of collecting dust aside from being my dedicated PS4 now. But then along with that, we got Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I don't think there's any information on here that can like dox me or whatever, but it does have the box number on the on the wrapping, which I kind of find that a little funny. But yeah, as you can see, it has not been opened. I haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 3. In fact, I wasn't originally going to buy it because I couldn't get the collector's edition. I kind of have a strict policy of if I can't get the collector's edition, I'm not going to buy the game at this point. It's just if I assume the collector. I mean, I think I'm the collector in this relationship. I think those of you who know me know that I have a tendency to be what most people would consider a collector. If I can't get the collector's edition, then I'm just not going to buy the game. At this point, I'm just going to get it used from who knows where. But the fact of the matter is somebody lost money on this deal. I think it ended up costing me like $45. And once again, with Xenoblade Chronicles games, it kind of gets a little iffy sometimes on if they're going to get a second print. So they've been selling better, so hopefully they do. But in the event that didn't happen, I figured, you know what, I'm just going to get this on pre-order. And yeah, I did not get the collector's edition, unfortunately. I have all the other collector's editions. Heck, I even have the Xenoblade Chronicles Remastered Definitive Edition from both the US and Europe, so the one that came with the record. So but yeah, I guess Nintendo just didn't want my money all that badly. So what can we do? Uh, anyway, we got a small stack of games from okay, so there's a little comic convention thing that my sister and I went to in kind of the local area, and they had a game booth there. There wasn't a ton there that was all that exciting, but I'm like, if I can pick up some for $5, NES Super Nintendo games, I'll go ahead and pick up a couple, and I did. I bought and also I think all of these were 20% off, if I remember correctly. So so this one had $5 marked on it, so we'll call it $4. We got Cybernoid. The font on this, you gotta see the font on this one. It's really weird if the camera will focus there. But Cybernoid. The fighting machine. I have never heard of it, but it was $5. I figured I'd go ahead and pick it, or $4, so I go ahead and pick it up. Now for $6, so like basically $5, we got Mach Rider, which I did not have Mach Rider on the NES. This looks like original Black Label copy, so good to have that. And we got a game with a save battery in it, oddly enough. L Unser Jr. Turbo Racing. So once again, another game that I never played / heard about. It's a Data East title, so it has that going for it. But yeah, and it has a save battery, so they bothered to put a save battery in it. But this one was $4, so we'll call it $4 to offset the $6. We'll just say they're all $5 each. How about that? They were all $5 each, with 20% off, making it less than that. Cool. And then we did get one more, once again, for 20% off. Couldn't really pass this one up because I have been wanting to get a copy of this game forever, and the price was competitive at $29 before the 20% off. So I figured, you know what? Just pull the trigger on it. Just pay the $29 or whatever. Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Yeah, I did not have a copy of Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. I have, I think, 3 copies of it on Game Boy, and the reason for that, by the way, is for the Four Swords multiplayer. But yeah, did not have this. I did not have one of the probably most common Super Nintendo games out there. I just noticed the sticker on it's a little uneven. It seems to be, by all accounts, completely legitimate, but the sticker is kind of just placed down a little tilted. So, but yeah, $30, can't complain. I did like verify the legitimacy of this one because I know there are a lot of illegitimate cartridges out there in this world, and foreshadowing. I guess foreshadowing, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. How about that? But anyway, another game that I got. This was actually a birthday present from my sister last year. We got Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, which I completely played through, and I liked it overall. Are the controls as tight as the GameCube? Absolutely not. Are they as tight as the GameCube on the Joy-Cons? Heck no. But it's still fun. It's still Super Monkey Ball. It's all the original levels of, I believe, 1 and 2. So yeah, Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. It gets a thumbs up for me for what it is, and for what it's going for nowadays, which is all that much. So yeah, this was just a standalone pickup from the Goodwill, Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, which comes in the box with something. I'm guessing because they bothered to put it in a box. Yes, DVD includes TV episodes featuring Shadow and Metal Sonic. Oh, see, there you go. They're getting the Sonic CD fans excited there, I'm sure. Yeah. And I've heard the DS Sonic Boom games are pretty decent, or the 3DS, I guess. Sonic Boom games. We don't talk about the Wii U Sonic Boom game. We don't really associate ourselves with that one. But yeah, the DS ones, or 3DS ones, I guess, are supposed to be decent. Now, this was another game that I got for that 20% off. It looked interesting enough to go ahead and buy. And that is Death's Door for the PS5. I don't really know anything about it, but it looked interesting enough to go ahead and just figure, yeah, it's like, I think it was like $40 or something like that before the discount as well. So I was like, indie game, I get it for $35, give it a try. Why not, right? We got a stack of, it looks like Xbox. Oh, that is not an Xbox 360 game. That's a more exciting pickup. Some more Xbox 360 games. We got Forza Horizon. I'm not sure if I have the original Horizon. I think I only have 2 on the Xbox 360. So, but it is better with Kinect. So if you're going to play this one, you better have a Microsoft Kinect on your Xbox, or else you're just not getting the full experience. Then we got Halo Anniversary, which is actually a really recent one, I think. Either that or I picked up 2. No, this is nope. These two actually are the only Goodwill pickups from this year. Yes, that it's February 24th. The only games I have found at Goodwill this year are Halo Anniversary for the Xbox 360 and Sonic Free Riders, both in great condition. I think they were each $3 a piece. $3 might be too much to pay for a copy of Sonic Free Riders, but you know, I didn't have it before, and once again, I can do a wacky, zany Twitch stream with that, I'm sure. I guess. Anyway. So yeah, and by the way, these pickups are in no particular order, not because I wouldn't take, the time to put them in order, but because I genuinely can't remember what the order is. So, there you go. Yeah, that's how things go for the old Dusty Do. Anyway, we got a interesting pickup from the Goodwill last year, a complete in box Sony PlayStation, which was $50. A little bit more than I like to spend for a PlayStation, but it's in the box and it's in really nice shape. And it's also the wrong console. So there you go. Did I not? No, it is the right console. I thought this was one of the white ones. Oh, well, it isn't. It is the right console. It is the right console, I promise. It is a SCPH 5501, which looks right for the contemporary of this box. And yeah, it looks to be in really nice shape. It didn't have a game in it, did it? No. Okay. But yeah, it looks darn near pristine, actually. So, good condition PlayStation. Can't complain about that. I guess for $50 is a little much, but once again, the original box, I think all of the inserts as well, other than like the cardboard insert that the console would actually go in. We got some free plastic bags, so that's good. Controller, non-DualShock, as these things go. Looks like AV cables. I don't think it came with a power cable, looking at it, but little booklet. Another booklet, or something. Subscribe to the PlayStation Underground CD magazine. Okay. I'll send that in. See if I can get my subscription in a little bit late. But yeah, $50 for the box. Nowadays, with people collecting box consoles, I guess that's probably not too bad. But yeah, I mean, I just saw it there and I'm like, it'd be cool to have a PlayStation 1 box. So I bought it. I know. Making good purchasing decisions. That's what you've come to not expect on the Dusty Do Show. Let's see. We've got. Okay, this is not going to be in any kind of order because this is a fairly recent pickup. This is within the last couple weeks, but actually it spoils this pickup, so I'm going to do this one first. Fire Emblem Engage. Yeah, so I was able to get the Divine Edition. That's what it's called. So I went ahead and bought it. I was almost not going to be able to buy the game, but out of the blue, Target just decided to stock them, I think, 2 days before release day. So, yeah, bought it from Target, got the 5% red card discount on it too, which is nice. I mean, I'll settle for not getting that if I can find the collector's edition anywhere, but, I'm not going to make it be exclusively Target, but that 5% is kind of nice. But yeah, I have been playing it. I've gotten probably about a little over halfway through it. And yeah, it's great. It is really great. There are some aspects that are annoying. Do I want to do a full Fire Emblem Engage review someday? I'll give you the TLDR. So pretty much, the game is great. I highly recommend it. But there are some things where I swear they just didn't play test it. Uh, so there are some really, really annoying things with one of the game mechanics, and specifically not having those certain things at a certain point in the game where you need to have them to promote certain characters. Those of you who have played the game and ran into the same situation that I ran into, you will probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was an issue that I had for absolutely sure. Like, serious. Did they just not playtest? Anyway, but the game is good. The game is overall fantastic so far, and I'm about halfway through it. So I think I can give it a recommendation being about halfway through. And I should say halfway through in 40 hours. So that might change that a little bit. I'm halfway through and about 40 hours in. So there you go. But in playing that, I decided, you know what? I want to take the initiative to go out and get every single US Fire Emblem game. I already had, of course, Three Houses, the collector's edition on the Nintendo Switch. But other than that, I think that was pretty much it, aside from Fire Emblem Path of Radiance on the GameCube. So yes, I am a little short on the Fire Emblem series. I don't have any of the Game Boy Advance ones, none of the DS ones. Or actually, I do have Shadow of Fate's or it's the Shadows of Valencia one. Whatever that one's called. I have the collector's edition for that. But I did not have any of the other games. So I figured I'd go ahead and jump into, when the time is right and when everybody's panic buying them, I figured I'd go ahead and get myself a Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn on the Wii, just in case. I did not want to pay the extra that the manual is going for right now, which is to the tune of about $70 or $80 if you're buying it with a copy, but you'll see them regularly come up on eBay for, $20-$30. So I'll probably have to pick one of those up eventually, but yeah, for the $100 I spent on it, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, which mainly I'm just worried that it will get to Path of Radiance crazy. So yeah, I got in on a good time on Path of Radiance. I got my copy for, I actually bought 2 from GameStop. No, did I buy 2 or did I buy 3 that one? I bought at least 2 of them from GameStop back during their retro gaming dumpster fire thing where they sold GameCube games. It was this whole thing. But but they were $70 a piece, I think, after a discount, like the Platinum Rewards thing, which I bought I got a good 50 GameCube games off of that. Like that was a pretty good situation for me overall. But basically what you'd have to do is you just have to buy GameCube games, and then they didn't mark the condition at all. So you're either going to get it in pristine, beautiful condition, CIB, or you're going to get just the disc and a scrap of paper that says "screw you." So they did not include that, but I like to think it's implied. So yeah, basically what I do is, because the spread between eBay was so good on those, I would take the GameCube games and I think I did a pickup video on like all of those games. Oh, it was probably 3-4 years ago now. But I did a pickup video on all those games basically explaining this, but the long story short, I would buy all the games, I would sell the ones that weren't in the good or that weren't in the right condition, and I would just buy multiple of the game, hoping to get some good condition copies. And most of the time, I ended up going pretty well on that. I think I've ended up with, 5 disc-only GameCube games, and like a couple complete in box. Most of them just disc in case, which I'm fine with. I'm not in a rush to get manuals. As long as I have the game in the case to put it in, I am usually fine. But what can you do? So yeah, probably about 30 GameCube games with the case and 5 without. But some of those I do really need to complete, like Eternal Darkness, Twilight Princess, and there's a couple other ones that were, some of them the cheaper ones. I think the rest of them were the cheaper ones, actually. Like some, $10 copies at the time, which are probably now 30. Um, and just getting the boxes out of the way, kind of, I think, yeah, it was an early Black Friday deal. So I've been doing a lot of traveling for work. Usually during the busy seasons, they will tell me you got to go to who knows where, Timbuktu, anywhere in the United States, really. And so when I have been, traveling, all I'd have to kind of have for a computer was a Microsoft Surface Pro 4, which I love the thing. It was great. I bought it about a year after it came out. I bought one with a crushed screen, replaced the screen, uh, used it for about a year. Screen went out on it, the aftermarket one that I bought. So I bought another aftermarket screen, used it for another couple of years up until late last year, where the middle of the touchscreen no longer works. And when I replaced thermal paste on it, one of the screws cracked. So holding down the CPU cooler. So I don't think it runs as cool as it could. It definitely runs a lot better than before I replaced the thermal paste. But yeah, it's kind of beyond economic repair at this point. So I decided, you know what? The options are either pay all the money to repair that thing, or just buy a Black Friday gaming laptop deal. So I checked the early Black Friday gaming laptop deals, and I'm like, this is probably as good as it gets, but I will probably return it if there's like a really good deal on a laptop with a 3060 in it. But really, my criteria were, I wanted a 3060, but I'd settle for a 3050 Ti. I want it to be under $600, because I travel with this thing. If I lost it, I'd want to not have it not be like the end of the world. Um, what else was my requirements on it? Oh yeah, upgradable RAM, upgradable storage. I always need that. Um, and what else? What else were my requirements on? Like I had a short list of requirements. A processor that was contemporary with the 3050 or 3060, so that wasn't a huge deal. Had to have a decent screen on it, of course, because it is going to be my dedicated laptop, and it's going to be my dedicated computer for multi-week trips. So, moral of the story is I bought this. It is a Lenovo IdeaPad Gaming 3. In fact, I have the box right here. I bought it new from Best Buy, which is not something I do very often. I don't buy myself a lot of new stuff. But the thing is, I was fully willing to go used. But all the prices on used laptops were worse than this. So like, trust me, if anybody is willing to go used on anything, it's pretty much me. But well, maybe not like toothbrushes or something. Like, you get the point. I'm willing to buy used if it's for a good enough discount. I just couldn't find anything cheaper than this with the specifications that it had. So yeah, 3050 Ti. The storage 256 gigabytes in 2022. But the cool thing about it with that 256 gigabytes is that was on an NVMe storage card. So it has NVMe storage of 256 gigs and a full 2.5 drive bay. So I can just easily throw a 2 terabyte SSD in there. All right, sorry about that very awkward jump cut. As I'm talking about this laptop, the downsides of it, the battery, which it hasn't just lasted like the time of recording this pickup video. I had it out here for a while and on and stuff like that, so the battery was probably down to like 60% when I started, but now it's down to 20%. So yeah, battery not very good. And yes, I wouldn't imagine OBS is using the NVIDIA graphics, because like the nice thing about it is it has the RTX 3050 in it, but it also has the it has the Ryzen 5 5600 in it, so it has the Ryzen graphics, which I'm not sure if they're Vega or not, but they perform fine for 99% of stuff that isn't gaming. So but OBS, now that I think about it, might actually be using the NVIDIA card, so that makes sense, I guess, because the NVIDIA, the 3050 is a little power hungry to be running off a battery anyway. But yeah, still, even with the AMD graphics, battery life you're looking at on low brightness 2.5 hours. not very good. But I only really use it plugged in anyway, so that's just something to keep in mind if you're like, oh, Dusty bought a Lenovo Gaming 3, and he seems to look like a trendsetter, right? So, yeah, definitely. But anyway, laptop, $550. I don't know if I mentioned that. $550 for the specifications that it had. It's basically like the top trim of this Lenovo IdeaPad Gaming 3, which is kind of what I was looking for. I was looking for like a really cheap chassis. It still performed very well. The only gaming I've really done on it is I played a bit of Persona 5 Royal, and it ran that nice. But granted, I think a potato can run that game fine, so not like a wow, you got to go out and buy it. It can run Persona 5, but it should be able to run all of the AAA titles that come out in the next 4 or 5 years, at least on low settings, 1080p. So that's really the number one thing for me, just as long as I'm current, I guess. And also, speaking of Persona 5, perfect segue, I got Persona 5 Royal on the Switch. Yeah, so you may be wondering, well, Dusty, why did you buy Persona 5 Royal on the Switch? It's not like you haven't bought this game for enough platforms. And no, I haven't bought this game for enough platforms. I'm kidding. Yeah. I mean, with the PS4, PS5, well, no, I didn't buy it on the PS5. No, I bought it for, I actually haven't bought it on all that much platforms. I really just have bought it on PS4 and both Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. So there you go. They haven't bought this game all that many times, actually. But I did buy it on the Switch. And the reason why I bought it on the Switch is because I got the One More edition from shopatlas.com. So, yeah, they did a collector's edition on this. I think it's still available. Like, Atlas, if this is the way you're going to do collector's editions, honestly, I'm just going to go out and say it. I don't mind, okay? Because, first of all, this is the best collector's edition they've done in a really, really, really long time. And yes, I did have to pay for shipping. Yes, it did cost me $150. But you know what? You can still go on Atlas's website and buy it, I think. So if that's what they have to do to make their collector's editions available in good, I'll pay the money. Honestly, I'd rather give it to Atlas than a scalper. I'd rather give them $150 for a game I've already bought twice than somebody else, right? It sounds bad when you put it like that. But yeah, it's the One More edition. It includes, by the way, I usually don't like tout the packaging as like a selling, like sometimes they'll say it comes in a box on the feature set, and I'm like, well, yeah, everything comes in a box. Well, almost everything comes in a box. You can't just put this includes a box on the feature. But this is genuinely like a really cool box, and it's fairly like I'm a big boy, and it's that big compared to the size of a pair of Sony MDR6 headphones. It's about that big. You know, I have video games here. I could probably. Yeah, compared to a standard size DVD case, it's like this big. So it's about 2 standard size DVD case, a little more than 2 standard DVD size cases wide, about 1 thick. Like really super not like high quality, like it's a high quality cardboard. It's got little handles on it. Like they just, you can tell they cared on this one. And opening it up, you get this really nice lined inside too. Like this is packaging that you can write as a feature, okay? Like if you're going to be writing packaging on your website as a feature, this is packaging that's a feature. But anyway, it came with of course the game, because they're supposed to. Nudge nudge, hint hint. But it came with a catchy briefcase kind of bag thing, which honestly, it's like folded up because it was in a collector's edition set, but really, really decent bag. I mean, just high quality. I genuinely used this if it wasn't a collector's edition piece. Like it is super, super high quality. And like once again, I'm not a shit. Like I will say, when Atlas does stuff wrong, they do it wrong. But man, this is nice. They did a good job on this one. But of course, it's got the only thing that looks a little weird on it is the screen printing of the Akechi A on there. But it does have this little nice Atlas tag too. Kind of a touch. Let you know it's official merchandise, you know. Oh yeah, in the game, I don't know if I mentioned this part yet, but it did come in a steelbook. So do I have that over here? Yeah, the sleeve in a steelbook. So actually a really lovely looking steelbook. So that's good. Oh, and I don't think I showed Fire Emblem steelbook. Well, I'd have to open the box to do that. It's a lovely steelbook. And just in general, the art direction on this game. Can we talk about how good the red and blue thing look? That hits me in all the right artistic design ways. But yeah, then it comes with some Persona 5 Royal art cards, which I haven't actually opened yet. But I'm assuming I honestly don't know what they are because I can't remember. There you go. It's like Christmas morning every time I just look through my games. I find something I didn't know I had. But you got like a little Persona 5 art card there. Yep, so it's all the characters and their personas. So if I can set these down somewhere where I won't topple a bunch of things over. It's just a bunch of art cards with the characters and their personas, if I can get my fat fingers out of the way. Yeah, all nice stuff. All lovely. Just good job, Atlas. You battery exhausted. Are you serious? All right, I am back and hopefully in frame. Yeah. My camera died, so I had to plug it in the wall. Let's see what else can die. Maybe my microphone that's plugged in via USB can die. Let's just see what else can die during this video. I don't know. But yeah, we were going through all this stuff, and by the way, that did give me a good time to edit a cut and to because it took me about 5 minutes to get those art cards back in. We got the Persona 5 Royal Tarot cards of the Major Arcana, which is kind of cool. I'm probably not going to open that, but it's still cool nonetheless. And then we got this is kind of cool as well. So for all those art cards that you got, you can display them in your Le Grimoire little art card display thing. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool, right? It's hip. I'm happy with this collector's edition because honestly, it is something that isn't like just an art book. I mean, granted, soundtrack would be cool. Soundtrack would be cool, but I think Royal and the PS4 came with a soundtrack. So maybe they're just trying to keep it all different stuff, which is good. I like that. It gives me a reason to buy the game for the third time. But you know, what can a guy do? Anyway, I suppose we'll get to this bag that I was trying to get to before that. And that is a $40 bag of N64. So went to the Goodwill one day on my birthday of last year, in fact. And they had this bag full of Nintendo 64 for $40. And I saw, you know, there's enough titles in there to kind of, you know, be like, yeah, okay, I can justify buying a $40 Nintendo 64 and games and controllers and all that. Like, really, if I just saw the Nintendo 64, a couple games and controllers, I'd be fine with that, right? So ended up picking it up, just not even looking at it really, because I wanted to get it and get it out of there, you know. And when I looked at the games, I'm like, oh no, are you serious? So yeah, I got this, but enhance. Look a little bit closer. Look, can you see any glaring issues with this? Can you see? Because yeah, it's a counterfeit. It's a freaking counterfeit. I got bamboozled. Dang it. So yeah, counterfeit copy of Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo 64, which is fine. Like, I'd rather have it than not have it, to be completely honest, because I don't have a copy of Super Smash Brothers 64. I should probably buy one at some point here, but you know, it'll play, so like I'll take it. As long as it will actually play. I did put it in the Nintendo 64 and test it to make sure it was like working in the right game, and it is, but you know, who knows what issues that it could possibly have. But yeah, we also got a counterfeit copy, a little bit more obvious one it looks like to me, of Star Fox 64. Got a good old counterfeit copy of Mario Kart 64. And unfortunately, the rest of the games in here are legitimate, including Rush 2 Extreme Racing USA, which I may or may not already have. Revolt, which I've heard is supposed to be fun. And Yoshi's Story, which I mean has gotten up there in price at this point where you know, probably start seeing counterfeits of it. So it's good to know that this one is a legit copy. So yeah, and as far as that goes, got 2 controllers. And then the other thing that like piqued my interest is I'd never seen one of these controller variants. This is the one. It's very normal. It's just a gray controller. Analog stick is... Never noticed this before. That is interesting. It has the GameCube analog stick mod. So yeah, there's a modification that you can buy for Nintendo 64 controllers, because for those of you who don't know, Nintendo 64 controllers, like the original ones, the analog sticks just straight up just die and turn into white powder because of the way the analog stick mechanisms work. So you can either buy or figure out ways to prolong the life of those, or you can buy yourself a analog, like GameCube style analog stick conversion kit, and that's what this controller has. So I'd never felt the analog stick on this controller, but feeling it, like you'll recognize that sound. It sounds very GameCube-y, like actually more GameCube-y than I'd probably expect, but it looks a little bit slightly smaller than a GameCube analog stick. But yeah, controller feels nice. I might have to give that guy a try. And see, maybe it'll be my new Nintendo 64 controller. But I know that modification is like $10, or maybe it's cheaper now. I don't know. So maybe we did end up getting a deal in all sorts of... Well, we got a deal with the Yoshi Story and the fact we got a Nintendo 64 console. But man, what a weird deal. This one has a regular Nintendo 64 analog stick. A very tight one. So yeah, this one's a win as well. But it's the gray and dark gray variant, which I'd never seen this one in the US before. Maybe they exist here, but I don't know. But it is, once again, both of these controllers are legit Nintendo brand controllers. So both good finds, I would say. Especially that, I'm gonna have to try that analog stick and see report back, see how it goes. But yeah, I'd always considered actually buying one of those just to see how they work. I know, like, the issue that some of them have is some of them have dead zones. So we're gonna have to check dead zones and that kind of thing on it, and some of them don't do the full analog range. So once again, we'll have to find that out, see how that one is. But who knows? Maybe it's actually decent. Then we got a Nintendo 64, which, looking at the bottom of this one, I immediately noticed is an NUJ model. So for those of you who don't know, Nintendo 64 serial numbers, NUJ, and not NS1 or NS2, or NS0 maybe. I don't know. It's been a while since I've dealt with them. This is a Japanese Nintendo 64. It has the pins cut out of the sides so it can play American games. It does not have the expansion pack. And yeah, it's an overall very good condition. So it's also kind of cool to have a Japanese Nintendo 64, I guess. That's fine. I mean, like, I'm fine with it. Did not come with video cables from what it looks like, but you know, for $40, even though I got scammed, I think I got scammed in a very okay way. So there you go. Like, looking back, I was a little bummed because like, I was excited to get myself a copy of Super Smash Brothers. I pull it out and I'm like, oh no. But yeah, now I'm like, you know, with the fact that, you know, I got some kind of cool stuff in this situation, I'm not too happy. But yeah, that's the first time I've ever found counterfeit games at the Goodwill. So, little fun thing. Just have to check my phone there quick. But anyway, might as well go through the rest of these games. Or actually, a game console, because yes, I bought a game console. So basically, it was a pawn shop clear out. They were trying to get rid of it. It cost me all of, I believe, $110. So really good price for one of these guys. Particularly complete in box with the controller. It's an Xbox Series S. Now the thing is, I don't really have a ton of interest in it because it doesn't play discs. Like if it played discs, I'd be like, yeah, I'd be totally fine with the S and not the X. Like, I don't have an issue with that. Problem is, it doesn't play discs. Now, it might be worth keeping for that controller, but I'm also going to go ahead and hook it up to my TV and try out some GameCube emulation, because I've heard there have been some big strides in Series S Dolphin emulation. So we're going to go ahead and give that a try. And this is a Christmas gift, not last year, but the prior year. I have had a 2009 Razer Death Adder since like 2010, 11, something like that. Bought it at the pawn shop used for 25 bucks. And that has been my mouse for the last, 10, 11, 12 years, that kind of thing. But the button clicky bits have finally started to kind of get a little bit... So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put on my Amazon Christmas list for my parents a Razer Death Adder. And they got me it. They got me Razer Death Adder Essential. I like really simple mouse. So it works great for that. It's a very simple mouse. It is basically exactly the same as the 2009 Death Adder. Like, it does not feel any different, other than the plastic feels a little bit nicer, which might just be because, once again, mine's been used for 14 years. And of course, it does have the higher DPI modes. It's got much clickier buttons, much clickier buttons, good scroll wheel. And these are pretty cheap. Like, you can go pretty expensive on mouses, but I really don't understand the hype, other than if you're like trying to be like your your esports team or whatever. I don't know. I don't get into all that. But I do like this. This is good. This is good mouse. Good mouse. Good mouse. Good job, parents. Big thanks to parents for mouse. Okay. Yeah, this guy for clearance at Target for $11.99, because I thought it looked interesting enough for $11 or $12 actually. Well, $12 if you include tax with red card, all that stuff. But yeah, Burger Time, not Burger Time, Data East. A Data East multi-arcade, which includes 1, 2, 3, 4. It includes a bunch of Data East games, and also probably some arcade filler titles, like some arcadey, not Data East titles, because it says 300 plus video games, and somewhere it says that some of those are Data East. And they don't have anybody else's name on this, so it is safe to say that those other ones are probably filler. But it looks cool enough as like a little display piece sort of deal. So, for the $12 you pay, it was on clearance from 40, so I figured, go ahead and grab it. Then we got a bunch of random games in here. Geez. These ones I've actually kind of went in opposite order on some of this stuff, but yeah, we got a stack of PS4 games that I think were $3 each at the Goodwill, but just some PS4 titles that are kind of quintessential ones. We got Dying Light: The Following, which is, I don't know if it's the sequel or it's retelling, reimagining, I don't know, but it's Dying Light. I don't know, I've never played the original, probably never will. I'm not very big into the horror genre, but you got The Order 1886, which, once again, interesting. Kind of one of the more talked about games of its generation. Mafia 3. I've heard the Mafia games are pretty decent. Battlefield 4. Grand Theft Auto 5. Can't have too many copies. Well, actually, if you're me, you can't have too many copies of Grand Theft Auto 5. I think if you have over 30 copies of GTA 5, you're probably it's a great game, but you don't need that many copies of it. I mean, when are you ever going to be playing 30 different instances of GTA 5 at the same time? Well, that would be an interesting little like TechTuber YouTube video, wouldn't it? I put 5 instances of GTA 5, yeah, something like that. I don't know. The Evil Within, Until Dawn, and the original Watch Dogs, which PS4 exclusive edition includes 60 minutes of exclusive gameplay. Ooh, yeah. That's a reason to buy a PS4 over the Xbox boy, Xbox guy, Xbox console thing, that thing, yeah. Okay, so we got Soul Hackers 5, Soul Hackers 5. Soul Hackers 2. Sorry, Soul Hackers 2 for the PS5. There we go. That's how English works. But yeah, I bought it new. It came with art cards. I pre-ordered it. I did not get the collector's edition on this one. Not because I couldn't get it, but because I didn't want to spend $250 for a collector's edition that should have been $100 Atlas, if you're paying attention. P5R Collector's Edition, good. Soul Hackers 2 Collector's Edition, bad. You see how that, but yeah, that Collector's Edition was like, here's $250, well, here's a $250 Collector's Edition with about, $100 worth of stuff in it. Anyway, Soul Hackers 2, including the game, I should say. And I had played probably about 8 or 9 hours into it and then kind of got busy in life, so I, kind of left it there. But I'll have to get back into it. I had fun with it. I know it hasn't reviewed the greatest, but it's fun. It's good. It's a good video game. So, yeah, there you go. Good video game, Soul Hackers 2. And that was also a Target pre-order, so I did save a little bit of money on that, 20% on that one. Plus the red card percentage off, so 25%, really. Well, 20%, then 5%. So 5% off of 20%. Well, no, 5% off of 100%, and then 20% off, well, no. Sorry, my brain just doesn't work. So it was 20% off, and then 5% off of what it was 20% off. So it's 20% off plus 5% off, not 25% off, because it's different. It's like a whole almost $2 difference. So, you gotta know where they get you, right? Then we also got JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. Because I am a little bit of a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fan. But JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battles R. It looks cool. I haven't played it yet. The disc is rattling loose in there. So there you go. That's a good sign. That's good, right? There we go. I don't know. This mic is set to cardioid. I don't know. I was like trying to ASMR all of you, but but it is a Blue Yeti. I could theoretically take the time to switch it to stereo, but there's the case for Fire Emblem, just in case you didn't believe that the game it was included in the collector's edition, because that's just such a crazy thing to do, including a game in the collector's edition. Come on, who does that? But we got Pokemon Violet. And now, so here's my mini review of Pokemon Violet. So everybody's had their opinions on Pokemon Violet, Scarlet and Violet. So my opinion on Sword and Shield was that it's by far the worst showing of a Pokemon game ever. It is the worst one in terms of mainline Pokemon games. Just downright. There's no argument. Okay. Pokemon Violet, very good. Now, if you are disturbed by graphical glitches, things that aren't particularly well polished in terms of, graphics and frame rates and, 3 FPS NPCs in the background, that kind of thing, probably not the game for you. But if you want like a good Pokemon experience, this is good. This is really good. Nintendo, you did good, Nintendo. Now, could Nintendo have maybe polished the game so that the game, ran at more than 20 frames per second at any given time? Yes, they probably could have done that, but they didn't. But it was still fun. I still put over 40 hours into it, and and that was just completing the game, because like the thing with Pokemon Sword or Shield, excuse me, I had Shield. The thing with Pokemon Shield is I think I beat the game in about 16 hours. And that was doing just about everything, right? I did like everything, and it took 16 hours. This game took me 40 hours doing just about everything. So we're heading in the right direction. Though, granted, I haven't like gone after like legendaries or anything like this. So there's more that I could do in Pokemon Violet, but I've kind of gotten into Fire Emblem, so that will probably have to be on the back burner and will probably never happen, to be completely honest with you. But that being said, still very fun game. Very much, in my opinion, worth your $60 investment. So there you go. Yeah, for once, Pokemon, you did something right. Good job. It's been a while. It's been since Sun and Moon, in my opinion. Which, once again, like, don't take my opinion as like fact on that, because like, I really liked Sun and Moon, and a lot of people don't really like Sun and Moon, but I liked Sun and Moon. Now they could have probably put everything in Ultra Sun and Moon in the original Sun and Moon, but see, Dusty's complaining about things again. We should probably just keep on heading on through the game. So we got 2 eBay pickups last year. I don't know if either of these were in the last pickup video, so you'll have to excuse me for talking about them again if they are. I don't think they were, but maybe they were earlier this year. No, this one was earlier last year, or not earlier last year. It was when Soul Hackers 2 came out, because I had wanted the original Soul Hackers. So yeah, I bought the original Soul Hackers on the 3DS, and I think the price has gone down since I bought it. So yeah, there you go. But it is still sealed, and I just, with 3DS stuff, you're better off in terms of gameplay experience. Just Nintendo, if you're listening, look, there's somebody pirating your intellectual property right over there. Go get him, Nintendo. Go get him. Okay, now before Nintendo comes back, I have a jailbroken 3DS, so I just download the games and to keep the games sealed, because honestly, you get a better experience playing them, which is ridiculous, but I believe it says Gabe Newell once said, piracy is usually a customer service problem. Games just play better when they're downloaded on the 3DS. So then I don't even have to open it that way, so it's all good. But granted, I'm not pirating it because I own it, so there you go. It's Soul Hackers. But granted, I wouldn't mind if somebody pirated it, be completely honest with you, because they're shutting down the eShop for the 3DS, and those are going for well over $70 a pop. So you go. Sail the seas, me mateys. Do I grab a bottle of rum here? Hey, pirate. Well, I got Boom Boo right here. Boom Boo is this is Boom Boo cream. This is good stuff. But anyway. I guess it worked out using the liquor cabinet and the future record shelf as the set for that joke alone. So there you go. But anyway, we got another game from eBay. This one was I honestly can't even remember how much I paid for it. I think I got a pretty good deal on it. I think I got it for around $100. But it was SMT Devil Summoner Raizo Kuzunoa versus the Soulless Army. And I have played a little bit of it. And the reason why I bought this one is because I wanted to get all the Soul Hackers games with the new one coming out. So now I have all of the Soul Hackers games that released in the US. There is, of course, the Saturn Soul Hackers that I don't have because it's Japan exclusive. But I do have all the US released ones. Now I have this one too, which comes with the little cute Jack Frost plush. And then, of course, Soul Hackers on the 3DS. So there you go. But yeah, this one's very, very good. Very good. From what I had played of it so far anyway. Once again, things ended up getting me distracted so that I couldn't really get too far into this game. But still very fun from what I played of it. There are some dated aspects, but the style and the soundtrack and the level up theme is just wonderful. I can listen to that on repeat for hours. Like, it's good. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend playing it anyway. Not necessarily going out and spending hundreds of dollars on it, but it's a good one. It's a good one if you like these kinds of games. So there you go. Then we got another eBay game, actually. Yeah, I've been shopping on eBay. Well, I haven't been shopping. Well, I did buy Fire Emblem on eBay, but other than that, I haven't really been shopping on eBay this year. But last year, because I saw it super cheap and it was brand new and sealed, a game that I remember playing on my friend's PSP when I was a kid and thinking, oh, this is a cool game. I wonder how much it goes for nowadays. And there was a sealed copy on eBay for like $5. So I went ahead and bought it. It's Exit on the PSP. Kind of a cool game. Like, it's you rescue people and you escape from the building, and it's cool. It's cool. I recommend it. Dusty recommends. And then we got a random copy of IndyCar Series 2005 from Codemasters, probably from the Goodwill for $2, I assume. So I like racing games. That's fine with me. That's fine that exists. I will approve its existence. Then we have these all the way down here because last year, back when I could find games at the Goodwill every once in a while, I found myself a nice little stack of Super Nintendo games. So, and these I believe will be the last of video games of the video. So, there you go. But we got ourselves a copy of Super Conflict, and these were all $5 a piece. So that's how you can tell kind of the beginning of the end if Super Nintendo games are $5 a piece. But we got Super Conflict from Vic Tokai. I don't know if that one was worth $5, but there are some in here that were most definitely worth at least $5. So had to get that one. Then we got just a little game called Secret of Mana, which I did not have before. $5. Not bad at all. We got Final Fight, $5. Tiny Toons Buster Bust Loose, $5. I'm gonna stop saying $5. Y'all know they're $5. Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2. We got The Lost Vikings, as opposed to the Found Vikings. Of course. We've got Tecmo Super NBA Basketball, which the Tecmo basketball games are fun enough. I'll play those ones. You got Super Baseball 2000. And we got Jurassic Park. There you go. I remember there being better titles. Maybe I was just excited to find Super Nintendo games. I don't know. But some of those for $5 is like, that's a little bit of a stretch. I probably should have left a couple of them. But then just as kind of an added thing, when I got my workbench set up, I fixed my copy of Altered Beast that I got in 2014. So yeah, it had this weird issue that's apparently kind of common in these earlier Genesis cartridges that you pretty much have to put a resistor on one of the data lines. So going from the EEPROM. So yeah, but it works now. So it hasn't worked forever. It's one of my very few cartridge games that hasn't worked on me, and it now does work. So there you go. We got the Yakuza 0 Deluxe soundtrack. Because I had played Yakuza 0, it was probably not last year, but the year before, and honestly, just like the gameplay, I would call it maybe a 5 out of 10. Like the gameplay was not good. I've heard the new engine. The gameplay is very good in the new engine for Yakuza. So like the Kiwami 2 and maybe Yakuza 6 was in the new engine as well. I can't remember. But yeah, the old engine for Yakuza, it did not play very well. Like basically you'd win just by button mashing and downing health drinks, and it's like, that's just not the kind of gameplay I'm into. But the story and the music are 10 out of 10. Like, absolutely just, man. The music in this game, genuinely some of the best of, I would say, ever. Like, it's just so well written. And it just works so well. And I love it. And you got, of course, all of these are on 6 vinyl records. And each of the vinyl records have their own they have one of the characters' tattoos on them. So there's, well, actually, if I'm not mistaken, they correspond to the character on the record. So, for example, you got Majima here, and no, they do not actually. But they do correspond to tattoos, tattoo art of characters in the game. But yeah, because they're all Kiryu and Majima. So yeah. But yeah, they're really, really well presented. And I have listened to one of the records, and pressing quality is great. So at least on the one I listened to, the only one I've gotten around to listening to yet, I've got to listen to all of them at some point. But it's difficult to take the time to sit down and listen to a full video game soundtrack, which is why my next purchase is a little crazy. But that being said, I did get this on a really good deal as well too. Somebody had them on pre-order, and I couldn't believe this was legitimate. Somebody had it on pre-order, so it retailed for $170, I think, 160, 170 bucks, something like that. Somebody had it on a pre-order for like 85. So I went ahead and pre-ordered it. I think all in, I was like $90-ish on it for a 6-record set. This is nice. I mean, you got, but I got the Persona 5 Royal soundtrack, of course. It might have been in the last pickup video. It probably was, but just in case there was an unresolved issue in that video. So when I had bought the soundtrack, I had put the first record on, and it had a pressing defect where it just sounded awful. It sounded awful. Like there was a really loud kind of grinding click going across the record as it'd spin. So I contacted iam8bit. I think granted a month after I bought it. And despite the fact I think their return policy or their like issue policy is like 14 days, they were super helpful. They basically had me send a video of the issue, send them a video of the issue. They're like, okay, try cleaning the record, all that stuff, and then send another video. And if, you know, that doesn't fix the issue, then we'll just send you another record, which I totally understand, having me send them multiple videos just to make sure that, you know, of course I'm a legitimate customer having a legitimate concern. So I did both of those for them, and yeah, they sent me a replacement, and the replacement sounds perfectly fine. So, not the greatest pressing quality in my opinion, but still, you know, fine. Persona 25th anniversary box set. And it is a big boy. It has 5 box sets in it with 16 records total. I'm going to take this like OB thing off of it so I don't scratch it up. Here, quick. I should probably figure out a way to like put that in the box or put that in a safer space or something, because I just don't want it dragging across the shelf and getting torn. But yeah, basically it has all of the so they sold these box sets individually as well, but I'm gonna have to here. But you can see there's the Persona 1, Persona 2. Really lovely artwork on these. Of course, my favorite game, Persona 3, Persona 4, and then the regular edition of the Persona 5 soundtrack, which I did not have. I only had the deluxe version. And like adding things up to get like the collector's edition box and all the games, I think I would have saved a little bit of money foregoing or buying them separately, because you could buy the box for $30 and each of the individual soundtracks. I think I might have saved like $30 by not buying Persona 5 again, but I was like, you know what? This will get me a copy of the original, or not original, the like basic, the essential, I think is what they called it, soundtrack. So yeah, that's kind of cool. But yeah, and it's just all like, it's all very well done. I got to give it to 8-bit. They did good on this one. And of course, in terms of the listening test, I listened to the Persona 3 soundtrack, and it is genuinely, but I think I put this on backwards, but I don't know if I showed you guys the front of the box yet, but all of the artwork there, it looks really nice. It feels really nice. This feels like $400, almost. Almost $400. It's still a little hard to spend $400 on something like this, but you know, that's the price of a game console. But yeah, the sound quality of the Persona 3 soundtrack was genuinely, and for those of you who don't know, I'm kind of a record enthusiast. Once again, the reason why I built the shelf was because all my records are moving over here. You know, I have fairly decent equipment, I would say. And listening to the Persona 3 soundtrack on the vinyl record, I have the CD version that came with the original release of Persona 3. The original, not FES, release of Persona 3 came with like a collector's edition that had an art book and a soundtrack, and it sounded way better than that. Like, this is genuinely the best I've ever heard the soundtrack sound. So if anything, for that reason, it might just be worth it. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see y'all next time in that channel update and whatever exciting things are in the future of Dusty Do. Take it easy.